This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right, ladies and gentlemen. No question about it. So what's the latest? Anything good?
Not the weather.
No.
Not the weather, I would say.
No, the weather. Andy went outside and showed me the snow that they got in his neighborhood and all that stuff. And it's, actually, though, today is November 21st. It's that time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's snuck up on us, but in reality, it's the 21st. Like, we're probably supposed to have snow about this time. It just sucks because, that first one is always like a slap in the face. I know a lot of drivers got a rude awakening last night in the kind of Twin Cities metro area.
Yeah, and last year was so mellow that any amount of snow this year is like, oh, this is ridiculous. What is this?
Okay, we're turning it over to Tevin because he reported to Uncle Tommy about his. I love the fact that a black man calls me Uncle Tom. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's endearment. Not that Uncle Tom, but whatever.
Not that Uncle Tom, but a different one. But you said how many crashes?
I believe it was, so it looks like a baby, man, and two more were killed yesterday. But there were more than 500 crashes across Minnesota.
500?
KSTP.
I mean, these people have never driven in winter before. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. And there's like a screenshot of 35W South and 3rd Street, and it's just like cars everywhere. And
man,
disaster.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to slog through it. That's Minnesota, no question. And again, nothing will ever top that 2 to 3 feet of snow we got on Halloween 1992, I think it was. Honest to God, so we would have taken a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old to. Andy was 4, Alex was 2, in 3 feet of snow. That's phenomenal.
Do you remember what they were dressed up as?
Andy was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle because he loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Alex was dressed like a witch. So a 2-year-old witch, I don't know how scary that is, but that's just me, right?
So she was riding her broom above all the snow, and Andy had his turtle shell as like a sled.
Yep.
That's correct. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And speaking of witches and my daughter, Alex, if you're a huge Wicked fan and you're psyched for the movie, this is not going to be music to your ears. AMC theaters are not going to let you sing along. The reason I bring up Alex, she got yelled at for singing along.
You would have to be a specifically miserable type of person if during a musical, like, hey, don't sing. Like, what do you expect?
Well, plus the fact she was with our family friend Michael, who's a gay man in America today. Why don't you go tell the gay man to stop singing, huh? Hey, tough guy.
Right. Like,
right?
Like it's you don't go to a concert and you're like, hey, nobody sing. Let the artist sing.
Let them carry it.
Right.
See, I might be the curmudgeon here because it's exactly how I feel.
Well, but I will tell you something. Catherine and I went and saw Pavarotti years ago at the Met Center. Mm-hmm. Don't be singing along with Pavarotti, okay? Let's not do that, shall we? But yeah, there are certain people I would say if they can sing, I don't mind. But if they can't sing, then that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, because I assume there's a lot of young kids that are going to this. Like, you're going to tell some 8-year-old that's singing her favorite song. Like, I feel like you go to these, whether it's Frozen or any other type of musical, like you expect them to sing.
What I really loved is back in the day when I worked at, it wasn't Bladholm Brothers then. That was all the way back to General Metalware over in Northeast Minneapolis. It was at like Central Avenue and about 19th. It's an empty lot now. They tore the building down. But a few of us went to the movie together. Now, these are hardline metal workers, okay? Mm-hmm. I can't even remember what the hell movie it was, but I'll just make up a song. We go with it, and this guy starts singing along, "Someday soon, going with ya." Yeah, that's not singing, sir. Let's not do that, shall we? See, that I would agree with. Don't let them do that. Right? Yeah. But if you're blending in with the other music, I don't care. If you know how to sing and you can sing, that's okay.
Yeah, as long as it's not obnoxious. Let them.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I would say a concert's a little bit different. If it's like a big pop concert, it's probably loud where it's, it is what it is. My thing is just like if I'm going to go see a play and I know it's The Lion King and everybody knows the circle, you know what? I want the person being paid to be that's on the stage to be the one performing it,
yeah.
not the and maybe I'm in the wrong here.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
But I think a play might be different because that's like a live like thing. Like you're there in person. But I think a movie,
I would say save it for when you're at home.
Touche.
It's a crowd of people. I feel like there's a social, you're not like, you can't yell bomb in a fireplace. I feel like, or in a
fireplace. They're doing bomb in your fireplace.
In a crowded room or whatever. But I can't sing in a movie theater. Like, I understand you're gonna scream or something during a horror movie, but you're gonna laugh. But it's just prolonged noise. I want to hear Ariana Grande, and I can't remember the actress's name who plays. Doesn't matter, but
Jude's bitching at you guys in the other room.
I know. He sounds like he wants to sing during Wicked.
Cynthia Erivo.
Thank you,
Cynthia Erivo. This is not a music concert, but one of my favorite things of all time. Catherine and I went and saw Dennis Miller at the Kravis Theater. Seats about 5,000 people. It was way sold out, no question. And he was very, very funny, but this guy kept yelling up to him on stage. And he did it like 3 times. And finally, Dennis Miller never did look at the guy. He just dropped his head down and looked down at the podium and said, "Sir, you have to understand something. I am absolutely incapable of human interaction," which I thought was a great call. I thought that was very, very funny. You ever seen him live?
Dennis Miller, no.
No.
God, he is funny as hell, man. Very, very smart guy. You don't see him much anymore. He used to be on the news once in a while, but I haven't seen him on the news in a long, long time. So I don't know what that's all about, but we keep moving forward with our lives, don't we?
We do.
Absolutely. Did you guys hear the story of Lakeville, the restaurant workers that got zip tied and some guy attempted to rob them?
No.
The other day? Yeah, let me get it pulled up here.
What the hell?
In Lakeville, Minnesota, Lee Peterson, they were at Red Fox Tavern.
Okay.
Yeah, they were zip tied at gunpoint, and the guy was like, "Hey, where's the money in the safe?" And it sounds like they didn't give in to his demands, and so then he ended up just kind of leaving. He told him don't move till like 10:25, and he dipped and never came back.
Left. He just left.
Yep.
By the way, if I ever went and ate at the Red Fox, I would have to order Lamont, you big dummy. I'd have to. I'm sorry.
I hope they're all like themed after
Red Fox. He was one funny sumbitch, man. You know that he was the first black man ever to perform to a 100% white audience in Los Angeles? Did you know that?
I did not.
No.
He did indeed. He was a I guess he was a newsmaker and changed history because he appeared and he, talked about it. He was very, very good. No question about it. But such is life. I suppose I just want to read a couple of lines from this thing. If you're a huge Wicked fan and you're psyched for the movie, this is not going to be music to your ears. You cannot sing along. They're running a 30-second warning. They're setting a 30-second warning set to clips from the movie that says no talking, no texting, no singing, no wailing, no flirting, and absolutely no name calling. Enjoy the magic of movies.
I love it.
Yeah, is that clear enough to you?
Yeah,
Shut up.
Put that in front of all movies,
Yeah.
regardless if it's a musical, horror film, comedy. Like, hey, none of this is going to be tolerated. But I think musicals, you can make an exception for some singing.
And I know, once again, I think very debatable. I know they usually do the turn off your cell phones, that type of thing. That this should be a mandatory thing, but for every movie. If I'm paying in a theater to go watch this, I don't want to hear, Jeffrey 3 rows back commentate and narrate over.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And in closing, I would say this. Would you control your laughter, too? Because I went to a thing one time. I can't remember who was even on stage, but I am not exaggerating. And I have to even lean back. The entire hour, it was, I was like, oh, my God, is that it? Just loud. Yeah. Calm down, sir. It's very funny. I understand that. But you don't have to yell your laughs. Sir, how about that?
Sir, this is Grown-Ups 2. This is not.
Yeah, it's not that great.
This is not like it's funny, but it's not that funny.
Yep.
On the way out here, Doug Sprinthal recommended Catherine and I watch a movie from 1987 called Tin Men. You guys ever heard of or seen this movie?
I've not.
I've
Tin
not.
Men.
Yeah, it was Danny DeVito was in it, and Richard Dreyfuss was in it, and they get in a battle over this woman, and they're both selling aluminum siding, but for different companies.
Okay.
Damn good movie. It's a little too long. It's an hour and 52 minutes long, and it should have been about a $1.40, something like that. But it's very, very funny, the things that happen there. Really good acting, too. But it's from, I think 1987. Doug Sprinthal told me about it. But if you get a chance, you got nothing better to do. And again, it's a little too long, so we'll settle in, though.
It's got pretty good reviews.
Sure.
Oh, Catherine, I thought it was really, really good. Well, first of all, Barbara Hershey's in it. She is one of the most underrated actors of all time. I mean, she's worked a lot, but a lot of people don't even know who she is, you know?
No. And reading kind of the plot to this movie, like jobs that you don't see today, door-to-door aluminum siding.
That's exactly it.
What is that?
And in closing, I looked it up. How tall is Danny DeVito? You ever looked it up?
I have not. I'm gonna say like is 4'5"?
Oh, I think he's tall. I bet
Taller
you.
than that?
I bet you if Kristyn Burtt is, I think 5'2", she says. I bet you Danny DeVito's like 4'11", 5 foot.
4'7".
Wow.
4'7". Oh, look at him. Look at Tevin. Yeah, you know, I have
I was kind of close.
It's kind of nailed it, you know. But man, is him? Well, see, this is what I love about it. A guy who's 4'7" is a tough guy in the movie. I love that. This guy's 4'7". He's like, yeah, I'll come over there and kick your ass. What do you think of that?
Has he lost height? Because Google says it's 4'10".
4'10". Google says 4'10", but they're lying. 4'7". I guess the tallest he ever was like 4'8".
Okay.
And they explained the disease he was born with, and some kind of aphasia or something. I didn't even remember what it was, but the guy can act his ass off. There's no doubt about it. No question.
Just turned 80, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago.
He did. We watched it for his birthday. That's exactly right. He just turned 80 years old. I think Richard Dreyfuss is getting up in that area too. Barbara Hershey, I know, is 76, I think. Very, very good. We'll take a break, come right back. But yeah, you get a chance. Again, it's a little too long, but if you get a chance to watch it, it's very, very funny. There's no doubt.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all things firearm related. Located on Lake Drive in Circle Pines. Jim, my pal, the owner, has over 25 years of experience, offers honest value and great prices with free shipping on a huge selection of handguns, shotguns, plus AR and conventional rifles. Over the years, K&L has established the buying power of larger stores, and that's what keeps the cost down. If you're looking for a firearm and need to stock in ammunition, go to K&L Surplus and Ammo on Lake Drive in Circle Pines, or you can just check out online at www.klgunstore.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, My Pillow is glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. I saw their TV commercials now. They're all Christmased up, which I like. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year, regular price of $119.98, are now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, baby. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. I wonder how many disc jockeys are saying, they've even got duvets. I guarantee it. So go to mypillow.com, and you can also call, of course, 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the 6-pack towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025, plus all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on TV last night. As you know, Mike Lindell is a good friend. See, I'm not one of those guys that if a guy, gets in an uncomfortable position, I go, yeah, I don't really. Mike Lindell's always been a really good friend of mine, and he's been through some things. Very, very successful guy. Been through some tough deals, but he bounced back, and I was happy to see that because Mike has really good heart. I wish people would understand that he really does have a really good heart. I mean, he's a goofball, but you three are too. So what's the difference? It's all I ever do is work with goofballs. You see what I'm saying?
It's the business, Tom. It's the business. There's nothing but goofballs. How many people have you worked with who aren't goofballs in this business?
Oh, I believe it is still zero. Might be zero. There's no question about it. And, on the other side, try explaining why you're a friend of Mike Gelfand's. He drives everyone nuts, but I love the guy. You know what I mean?
He's got some opinions.
He's got an opinion or two. That's exactly right.
Okay, I'll bite and ask, has Mike Lindell and Mike Gelfand ever appeared on your show at the same time?
Yes, a long time ago.
How'd it go?
That's exactly right. STFU, you ever heard that? I kind of basically had to use that a couple of times, but, because I'm bigger than both of them, so that's the good part.
Well, and plus it's your show, so you probably to get it back on track. That's my guess.
Gelfand's already started in. He'll be in today doing the family show. He's already started with the Ramasmarmy. Not Ramaswamy, it's Ramasmarmy. He's just... people who are that extreme politically are like, what is wrong with you? Calm down.
Gelfand must have loved the 60s and 70s, though, for the political extremes.
He's another one, though. You would never know it by talking to him, but Mike does have a very good heart. He's a really nice man. Well, it's hard to believe that Gelfand's a nice man, or Lindell for that matter.
I think Gelfand's very smart, too.
Oh, he's a very smart guy. Yeah, there's no question about it.
Perhaps too smart for his own good, but he's very smart.
He's everything not great for himself. There's no question about it. All right, St. Thomas returns to O'Shaughnessy Stadium one final time this season on Saturday on 1500 ESPN and 1500ESPN.com. Next up, a battle with Dayton. Who, Mark Dayton? Get him out there. Wouldn't it be great, just the entire team against Mark Dayton?
I don't think Mark Dayton's up for that these days. Do you?
Yeah, he might not. He might be right about that one. Pre-game at 12. I've never met him. You guys ever met Mark Dayton?
Oh, no.
Talked to him like twice on the phone, I think, for a story I was doing one time.
Oh, okay. Pre-game at 12:30, kickoff at 1 o'clock on 1500 ESPN and 1500ESPN.com. In advance, Judd, I'd like to know, do I have to pay $600 to watch the Vikings again this weekend?
Well, if you paid it once, you might as well because it's done.
That's true. Very good point.
So you paid like you didn't pay $600 for one game unless you make it so.
No, that's true.
So you've got the package now for the rest of the season.
It's only $200 a month. I remember when I was a kid, our rent was like $120 a month. So now just watching a TV show is almost twice as much as our rent was.
That feels super excessive. I'm not sure exactly what platform, but I just saw a deal for the Sunday ticket for like $80 for the rest of the season.
Well, this was a combination. I had to get the combination of, what was it, Netflix and... No, it was the NFL Network and YouTube. That's what it was.
YouTube TV, okay.
Yeah, I had to get both. Not just one. I had to get both of them to see the game.
Well, you might as well watch the rest of the games then, because at least that will make the investment a little bit more palatable.
That is palatable. I like that.
You like that word? Yeah.
That worked for me. There's no question about that.
Thank you.
But look, as long as I'm not going to be real happy spending the $600 if the Vikings lose even one more game. If I spend all that money and they, lose a game, I'm going to be pretty pissed off.
Yeah,
right?
Just make sure you cancel YouTube TV the second the season's over.
Really?
Or really once the playoffs start. Yeah, because then you can save a couple bucks.
It's probably true. Get $2 back from my $600 investment.
Yeah, well, then they don't continue to charge you for YouTube TV the rest
Right.
of the year. So.
Is there anything on YouTube TV to watch? I've never watched it.
I don't think YouTube has like YouTube originals. It's just normal TV.
It's just a provider. It's a
okay.
gateway to, like, if you don't want cable, it's cheaper. But yeah, and I think you also might want to cancel the Sunday ticket too, because I think they might, if you don't cancel that, there's a chance they might just continue it next year and send you the bill.
Okay, well, we'll see how it works. Well, maybe I'll need it next year. Who the hell knows?
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't even know what I get this thing going on right now. It's driving me nuts.
What's that?
But, it's business. You know how business are. I have like 13 advertisers going, Tom, if they ever promote your show, I'd like to advertise on it, but they're going to have to promote your show. So I'm arguing between 13 advertisers and this outfit. It's great to be caught in the middle of that. I want you to know that.
Yeah,
but, most guys on the air do not do sales. But I was a record guy at Capitol Records for, 10, 12, 15 years, whatever it was. So I do know how to sell. I guess I'm pretty good at it, but it's really frustrating. So I'm thinking, now let me run this by you, particularly Tevin.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to make an announcement that I'm going to get up on a billboard, and I'm staying up there until we get at least 100,000 more downloads a day. And I'm going to stay up there, and I just want you to know that. And then, just to be a prick, I want to hire a black woman to do it and say she's me. What do you think?
Just somebody that's clearly not Tom Barnard saying
Yes.
that they're Tom Barnard. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And that's why I picked a black woman, because obviously I'm not a black woman.
Right. Or you get like Danny DeVito to stand up there and
That's at 4'7". I wonder if he'd do that for me.
I think
he does, though, subs.
Jersey Mike's, yeah.
I'll say, or like, what's the Cameo where you can pay like, Judd Zulgad $20 and he'll say that, Tevin's mixtape is the greatest album he's ever
Happy
heard.
birthday.
Yeah.
Of
Get
all
something
Your
time.
like
mixtape is great. Yeah.
No question about it, ladies. I wonder if there are people that want to do that, but they never get hired by anyone. I'll wish you a happy birthday, and no one ever reaches out to them. That must really hurt your feelings, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
You put yourself out there, though. Like, if you do it
true.
and you don't get response,
True.
it's, too bad.
Tough titty, that's what you're saying?
Yeah. That's you know what? Unless you're a really big celebrity, I don't know that Cameo thing is like you'll get some bites here and there, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah.
You got John Lovitz is on here, Chuck Norris. Like, who do you want to stand on this billboard for you, Tom?
Chuck Norris.
No, I need a black woman to do it. She has to be pretty, though, because then they'd really know it's not me, because I am definitely not a pretty black woman.
Yeah, I don't think I can sort this by pretty black women, but I will.
Yeah.
There's not a filter for that one, huh?
I got bad news for you, Tom. I don't know the billboard thing still works.
Damn it! Was anything work? Because
I don't think the billboard thing, I mean, they're still there, God bless them, but I don't know that it's as effective as it used to be.
I mean, I got to figure out a way. There's like millions of dollars at stake here for the company and my company and all the rest of it. To just let it sit there. I mean, the clients call me and say, get this thing going so we can advertise with you.
I don't
I don't
know.
know how the hell I do that. Maybe I better start coming on your show. Yours doing well. Tom, Judd, and what's the other guy's name? Flip?
Phil? Well, Declan might be a little bit upset about that, but I
love Declan. I like Declan more than I like you two. What do you think of that action?
Oh, I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Like, if I were to rank the SKOR North staff, I'd go AJ 1, Declan 2. Phil can have 3. I'll take 4.
You'll take 4.
Ross isn't even on the list. I love it.
Yeah, Ross.
Nice.
Ross is in there too.
He's an
That's
intern.
really, really nice.
Our staff is small, okay?
Another
a
guy
nice
I like
small-
is Ross. Ross is a great guy.
Ross is a fantastic guy.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Stabbing him
absolutely.
right in the back. You're stabbing him in the back, though.
I forgot. I'm getting
forgot.
older. I forget about people all the time. I can't remember a name to save my life. What am I supposed to do?
Maybe I should hire an agent that would understand. It's like, look, we've got the several $1 million worth of advertising,
Yeah.
but they won't put it on until you promote the show, so that I don't have to even get involved in it.
Problem with that is the agent would then gouge you and take as much as possible, and so then you'd be like, damn, I shouldn't have hired the agent.
But I do have a 44 Magnum, so I don't think he'd do that.
Oh yeah, well, I wouldn't do that either then if I was.
Bring it up, pull out the long gun on them.
I was gonna say that's a big gun, right? That's a big gun, right?
That is a big. Have you ever fired a .44 Magnum?
I have never fired a real gun in my life, nor do I ever want to.
It is loud, man.
I think BB guns are where, as a kid, is where I began and ended my gun firing career.
Okay, so why don't we do a deal here, where the listeners of this show is like 100,000 or whatever it is, and if they could reach out and give me tips on how they think that I can get more people aware, because they want to listen to the show, but they don't even know it's on. So I got to get our listeners to kind of, put in ways that I can improve. And if one works, then they get a little piece of the pie. What do you think of that?
I think you could probably mobilize a nice group of people to send ideas then.
Is there anybody left in radio who hasn't been fired in the last couple of weeks? Jesus. Radio's blowing up around the United States.
That's a competing company that owns a bunch of stations in this town but they've been in bankruptcy like 87 times in the last 15 years. So,
well, you did notice I didn't pop up on any of those. The one thing about this is where I started my career, was another reason I wanted to come here, but the Hubbards are not exactly deeply in debt, if you know what I mean.
That's the greatest thing.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take a family-owned company or invested company over what's the word I'm looking for? Conglomerate. Mm-hmm. A big any day of the week. Believe me, I went through that at the Strib with when the Coles family, who had owned us forever, sold to McClatchy, and McClatchy overextended itself by a mile by buying all these papers, and it's like, that's a disaster. Yep. And then of course we did end up in Chapter 11, and then I believe and then we got bought, but we got bought by people that were basically going to try to drain as much cash as they could. So yeah, I'll take the family any day of the week.
It is all true. What I'm going to have to do probably. I actually looked into buying a radio station one time, but it's like,
really?
Yeah, I did.
Where?
Maybe I should have done it here in town. I can't tell you which one it was because it didn't happen, but I looked into doing it, and maybe I should have done that.
Which side of the dial?
It was FM. It was AM and FM, actually.
KMOJ.
KMOJ. With
AM, FM. That's got possibilities. I can think of a few, yeah.
You know what would be the greatest of all time, though? Is that if I did it on KMOJ, the only reason they let me do it is if I did hire a black woman to be me on the billboard. You see what I'm saying? You included us. Now we're going to include you. What do you think?
I don't know about that one. Yeah, possibly.
It is definitely possible.
I'm trying to think of the AM and FM combinations at the time. Now they used to be far more frequent, right? Because didn't KQ have an AM arm at one time? And
it was like an AM 1440 or something like that.
Yeah, and KDWB, 663.
630, yeah.
And then was FM. And I remember as a kid when KDWB's AM signal, I want to say it was more popular than their FM signal.
It was, absolutely. I remember when that all happened. That was a big switch over, and now it's all internet now. I mean, that's why podcasting is doing so well. But the problem with podcasting is all of the big Hollywood big shots have taken over the prominent position. So it's a bitch to break through in podcasting. Yeah, I mean, you guys, it took you a few years to break through, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, and we're very yes, it did, and like our Viking show, as you can tell by the name, is very like. It only talks about the Vikings, right? Mm-hmm. So like, Brad Pitt's not going to break out with a Vikings podcast, for instance. Like if you're doing a general, like a general show, I think that's the tough thing because you're right. Like everybody, celebrities left and right are doing general shows. So,
oh God, yes.
And there's only, and the interesting thing about podcasts is there's only so much time in a person's day. So
absolutely.
So, like, if they love Clooney and he's got a podcast, they're going to make time in their day for George Clooney. So, yeah, I
guess. Yeah.
As usual, the media business, very cutthroat and competitive.
Oh, cutthroat, particularly you're absolutely right about it. It's just, I think the whole thing is absolutely hilarious. But I know you got to get going here, but I got to point out again, I tried to watch a little television last night.
Yeah.
This battle that's going on between the Democrats and the Republicans right now is like, oh my God, you people have lost your minds.
But don't you love the fact that the commercials are at least gone?
Well, yes, I do. That I do.
The commercials
enjoy.
being gone is my thing because, like, I watch a bunch of sports, right? But they had infiltrated the commercials, so now I can avoid purposely like the news stuff,
Right.
but I couldn't avoid the commercials. But now I love it because I'm back to Ozempic and things like that. Just great treats like that. Yeah, exactly. And I sing the songs.
Of course you do, because
It's
everybody
getting
does.
clear. I feel free. Yeah, the songs are catchy. I love. You know what I miss? I miss theme songs to TV shows because of that.
Oh,
love
okay.
to
What's
sing
this
along.
one then? You ready?
Yep. Bum, bum.
That's exactly right. Whose theme song is that?
Mission Impossible?
I'm not telling you. You're gonna have to figure it out for yourself. But you had it nailed.
I
You
was
did.
thinking that's Blue. I'd immediately think of the Blues Brothers movie.
Blues. It's not the Blues Brothers. Well, the Blues Brothers did have a song that did kind of sound like that. That is true.
Egert just chimed in. Okay, Peter Gunn. He said.
Very good, Peter Gunn.
I think he's got a couple of years on me, so that's very good.
Well, plus he knows a lot more about Peters than you do.
Oh wow.
Man,
Thank you very much. Great to be
Wow.
here.
Peter
Sexual
Kristyn,
reference.
I'm going to hand the ball off to Chris with that and allow him to
time
handle.
You got to get going.
Allow him to handle that as best he wants to. But thank you, Chris Egert, for the help.
Okay, Judd, so understand from now on, when I do this show, I'm going to reach out to our listeners, and they can, where would they, if they want to text in or email in, or where, because I want some suggestions.
You'd have to give him
when
your personal account.
We'll give him AJ's phone number.
not phone number, I just, some kind of thing.
Yeah, don't say text. Don't text.
the best form,
No texting?
the best way to communicate with the show is on the app or website that you have either downloaded for free or visit frequently. There's a contact us at the top of the page. Click that, send us an email. We get all those sent directly to our emails and can respond with any and all ideas.
Or personally, I just got one
like
sent to me, and it sounds like somebody that I know, but they didn't identify themselves. They said, Tom, there is no question you could get everybody listening to your show. Everybody was Noah's on if you just murder someone. Yeah, good. Thank you. That's great. I'll just kill somebody, and then they'll all tune in to see when I go to prison for the rest of my life.
Yeah, a show.
Definitely puts an end date to the show, but
Does it? Yeah. Does it? Because you could politic to get
true.
a camera, a computer, and like your lunchtime could be spent doing the show.
every show just starts with, "Do you accept a call from Stillwater Correctional?"
You know what? You would get. You know what? Tevin's right. You would do so well. In fact, the show could be called "Do You Accept a Call with Tom Barnard?"
Yeah.
Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll have the audience vote on who I should kill to gain that much, notoriety.
Live from Stillwater Penitentiary. It's "Do You Accept a Call with Tom Barnard?" Now here's your host, the man in orange, Tom Barnard.
Okay, very, very quickly. I got to tell you this because I know you got to go. But John Hines decided one time that he was going to do a show from Stillwater Prison. Now, I used to go there and visit friends because I had a lot of friends who were in prison.
Sure.
I still got a couple that are, they're never going to get out. But so we'd go up, Catherine and I go up to Stillwater to visit people and do all the rest of it. And John Hines told me a story. He wanted to do a show from Stillwater Prison. I don't know why they wanted to do it, blah, 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 blah. But apparently there was one element that showed up when they were touring which cell to use. And the guy looks at John, he goes, "John, you do a show from here, I guarantee you'll get firebombed." It's like, oh, okay, well, let's not do that then, shall we?
Never would have occurred to me to do a show from Stillwater Prison.
No, thank you. I'm really ready to go. All right, young man, you've
guys.
carried the show for long enough.
I will see you on Tuesday.
Looking forward to it.
And say hi to Chris and tell him thanks for the Peter Gunn assist.
I don't wish to talk to him. Forget it. He's out of the
Well,
mix.
he's up next. I'm gone. Bye, guys.
Talk to you later. South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine, the #2 best state business for tax climate by the Tax Foundation and the number 5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust, growing job market, which is always good. No matter where you're at in your career, they have an opportunity waiting for you. Their city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce, they do not go unrecognized. Forbes, as a matter of fact, named them, I'm talking about Sioux Falls here, one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the number 4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? Well, they rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
It is time for Welshire Alzheimer's disease. Oh, it's unbelievable. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Corey just a couple of days ago. They're doing very, very well, which is great news for the elderly. Tom here for Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. Very, very important. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Welshire is the place I highly recommend. Welshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Welshire Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Welshire has a robust community with activities, and that's, by the way, 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Welshire. Set up a tour or learn more at welshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Why don't you hop on? We're going to be chirping in the background, you pill.
I like to get it set up a little early, get my bearings set, because usually this... Go ahead.
You should come on early then, if you're going to be there anyway.
I'd rather chime in as the peanut gallery. It's more fun that way.
Okay, well then we'll just follow your lead.
Just drop knowledge bombs and on
Indeed.
Music themes and whatnot.
I understand that. I think it's magnificent. One thing I do love about traveling now is I can watch the Channel 5 Eyewitness News in the morning, in the midday, afternoon, whatever. So I was checking it out. You have any good news on there this morning? When I saw it, didn't look too good. Then he goes,
the ski areas are happy that
that's right.
Maybe they're going to get a decent winter this year. I don't know what gives them that idea. It's snowed less than a couple inches total over the course of the fall here so far. So I'm not. I guess they got to be optimistic about something after last year, because last year was such a disaster for.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not so much the skiing, because I think a lot of those hills could still make snow. Like what I think Highlands said, they had kind of an even Highland Hills there in Bloomington. They had a kind of an even money year for them, but the outdoor ice rinks were the ones that really got hit last year, because they were and
right.
I'm thinking like pond hockey and some of those things. I don't remember. Did pond hockey even go on this year? I can't remember. I don't think it did, or if it did, it was like very greatly diminished. But
yeah, I think they had like multiple site changes because it was supposed to be at one lake, and then it was like, well, it's gonna be fine, and then it heated up for like 2 days, and it's like, well, it's ruined, and then I think they made like a makeshift tournament happen or whatever. But yeah, just all around the state, it felt like they weren't flooding rinks as often, and I mean, rightfully so. If it's gonna stay warm, that's just more tax dollar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll see if that keeps going that way. Although the forecast over the next week looks cold, it doesn't look like particularly snowy. So, I think you got spoiled last winter. I'm like, oh, it's going to be 30 all week this week. Normally you'd be like, well, who cares? Like, that's nothing. But
we should just every day in your segment go, I really can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside.
They can't sing that song anymore because it's rapey.
It's rapey?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't remember, like, what was it, like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah.
Somebody made they made a remix to it that was like, I really can't stay, and then it was, well, go if you have to. Yeah. Like, it was like,
Oh, God, Jesus. Is everybody just the biggest sugar tit ever born now?
Well,
everybody's so sensitive.
I'm just saying, I happen if that's one of my favorite of those genres of songs, but it's apparently fallen out of fashion because of some what's the right word for it? Some pushy behavior. What's that, AJ?
There's a few questionable lines.
Like what?
The guy's being a little pushy.
Drink.
Yeah, that's not great.
What about it? Wait. He offers her a drink. She doesn't have to take it.
Well, she's like, what's in this drink? Just don't go outside. It's cold. Just keep drinking.
You guys are nuts. Honest to God, one of the greatest songs of all time. I sing it to Catherine all the time. No
AJ, see if you can find the politically correct version.
Okay, I'll see.
Oh, is there a politically correct version of it?
Yeah.
I'm going to vomit.
It's on, if you type in Baby It's Cold Outside, the new politically correct version, 5 years ago. I believe it was a Minnesota couple that wrote the song.
Oh, really?
You mean the new version?
So. Yeah, the new version. Because I remember I was just criticizing the hell out of the new version. Mm-hmm. And the person was like, that's actually my neighbor or something.
I give a rat's ass if it's your neighbor or not. The song sucks, it sucks. What about that action? I said that to Paul McCartney once, and he didn't like it. But in any case, so did we find the song? I want to hear this song. Young lady, it's cold out. So it can't even be baby, it's cold out, because she's not a baby, obviously. And it's too endearing to call somebody baby, so it can't be baby, it's cold outside.
Well, you can't identify her gender, so it's got to be...
No. Person, it's cold outside.
Here, I think I've got the politically correct one from Hawkeye Channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Maybe.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
I'll just call you a cab.
I was hoping you'd be.
You can wait out by the curb.
Maybe I'll stay.
You already said no, I've called that cab.
My mother won't need to worry.
Here is your coat and gloves.
My father is out of town.
Let's just listen for the horn.
There is no need for me to
I really wish that cab would hurry.
Well,
Did I tell you I have to leave early today? That might be
That's
the worst
stupid.
thing
First
I
of all,
have ever heard.
Who calls a cab anymore? It's 2024. Nobody calls a cab.
They called me a cab.
Before Uber got popular.
So the fact that the guy may be falling in love with the woman, baby, don't go.
Well, he got her drunk, and then he wouldn't let her leave his apartment.
That's not what happened at all.
But
does she go, I gotta get home, you know?
My favorite is, what is this drink? Pomegranate LaCroix.
So there you go. What's wrong with that? People are so nuts now. It is unbelievable how crazy everyone has gotten. Don't they have like a guardian or whatever? Like when we were hanging out, I hung out with a lot of tough guys nowadays. I'm not a tough guy like these guys are tough guys, but they, leave them alone. Everything is good. You were attracted to a woman. What if Catherine had said, when I said, she invited me to go to lunch one day because she wanted to interview me about her journalism school deal. Mm-hmm. I think it was just a ploy. She was, deeply attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? But if I love my wife, I want the world to know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they were the people in the song, they're just getting to know each other. And my guy's not letting my girl leave the apartment. he's getting her drunk. I don't know. If it was my daughter, I might think a little bit different about it.
He does not say you can't leave. He's saying, I wish you wouldn't leave. What's wrong with that?
I mean, I like the song.
I like the song.
I'm pro old version than the new version, but
that new version.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
All right, go away. I've never liked you.
Sure. You want good news? You want good news, Tom? Before I go,
I would love some.
This is huge.
Oh, God,
the Minnesota DNR is unveiling a new and improved Eagle Cam.
Woo!
What's that?
That's where
where's the tears of excitement?
That's like the nest of like eagles, and they put a new camera up so you can see.
There was one up a couple years ago, and the nest fell, and the people like. I joke about it because it annoys me how often people in my life will look at that camera and like waste time when I think you could waste time on other things like gambling websites and Facebook Marketplace. But anyway, so it annoys me that people go to the DNR's website all the time because they're looking at the Eagles. It's like, oh, look, it's the Eagle Cam. Everyone loves it. Well, it's been out of capacity for the last year. So now the DNR has set up a new Eagle Cam at a new nest at a new undisclosed location.
Is it? Oh, so it's not Wabasha, because there isn't there the Eagle Center is in Wabasha, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is a specific to the DNR, and they've got. I think they might have other cams too, but this Eagle Cam of theirs became like wildly popular. I a couple years ago we took a shot of it on the news, and the birds were playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And one of our other anchors was like, "Oh, look, the birds are playing," and I'm like, "I don't think they're playing."
Maybe it's cold outside. Let's get back to that, right?
Yeah.
But
no, no, go ahead.
We've been down there, Wabasha, at the Eagle Center, and what I love about it, they have about generally like 4 or 5 different eagles that maybe a broken wing or they're incapacitated in some way or another. And there's a big wall of windows where they're all, kept inside there so they can recover and all the rest of it. And the other eagles on the river fly by constantly and taunt the piss out of them.
Yeah,
I think it's phenomenal. I'm free. I'm out here and you're not.
Hey, bitches, have fun in there.
I think the Eagles, I think they moved out because I'm on the website now, and over the past, I'm scrolling through trying to find an eagle. There are no eagles in this nest. So
we took a shot of it earlier today, and it was empty too. But I guarantee there's a pair of nesting eagles there because the DNR has launched this with such fanfare. It would be quite a blunder on their case to make a big deal out of this and then just have an empty eagle's nest. So
sure.
Anyway, check back. It's very exciting.
All right, so when I walk out this morning, I can't say, "Hey, Catherine, I love you." Can't do that because it might be sexual.
You just can't try to buy her. You're married to her. I think that's different.
That's a different deal.
You're not courting her.
Okay. All right. Once again, Egert comes and ruins my day. Every day.
That's all I'm here for, Tomas.
We'll talk to you later, Pally.
Later.
Thanks very much. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-5608. We'll be right back. A little schmooze. Got a great guest coming up. Is Chris's last name pronounced Xaver? Xaver?
I
believe so.
I'll look it up during the break because I was also unsure about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure. I usually try to, say the right name and all that stuff if we can do it, but that's not for another 10 minutes or whatever, so we can figure it out.
Yeah, a little time.
We shall be right back right after this.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and I already need a tip from you guys on this story I'm about to read. Everyone has at least one restaurant deal breaker. And after that, it says, like the place has Golden Corral on the sign out front. Is Golden Corral, that's a restaurant chain?
Yeah, it's like it's a buffet
It's like a old country buffet style thing. Yeah.
And those are not in business anymore, are they? Old Country Buffet?
I haven't seen one in a while.
No, I'm sure there's got to be a couple out there somewhere, but Golden Corral, it felt like more of a out in the country. Like I know Fargo had one when I was out.
Oh, okay.
There. Like, I don't know. But
so they're not around anymore, though?
Yeah, they had a chocolate fountain. I think Golden Corral's still around. They had a chocolate fountain.
I remember the chocolate fountain, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Someone posted this question on social media. At a restaurant, what's something that's an automatic, I'm not eating here, we need to leave? And the best response is, I can give you my response. If the place is filthy, I ain't eating there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like
That's it for me.
You can tell before getting any food just by the table you sit down at. If the booth or the chair has like stuff all over it, the table has like a caking of like dried soda and crumbs and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm with you. Then it's like, well, let's go find some more else.
I had a teacher where his was, when I was in high school, his deal breaker was if in the bathroom, they had a bar of soap instead of like.
Oh, yeah, because you use a bar of soap. Yeah.
He was like, no,
I'm not doing that. I understand. Okay, here are things that would. Oh, this is cold. Number 15 is Gordon Ramsay is filming it. I've never watched Gordon Ramsay. Not very good. Is that the plan?
No, I think he's phenomenal. Like,
is he? Okay.
Like he will, like you see clips of, because they'll have what's like an open kitchen, so like the people eating there can see back into the kitchen, and he'll be just MFing somebody, or somebody will tell him that the steak's overcooked, and he'll MF a guest or put 2 pieces of bread over somebody's ears and make them say eat sandwich. So yeah,
I actually think, Tom, you would really enjoy eating at like Hell's Kitchen for that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think you'd enjoy that show of like, oh, he's really giving it to this girl now or whatever, you know.
Giving it to this girl right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, well, you know, criticism wise. We're not,
criticism. Okay.
You know, they're in a kitchen. Everybody, come on.
Okay, number 14 is there are children screaming or running around. I don't care. Children are having fun. That doesn't bother me in the least. Number 13, there are TVs playing the news, especially anything political related. Well, yeah, they don't do that in restaurants. Do they play political TV?
No, it'd have to be a pretty specific themed
like
restaurant.
Yeah.
Any restaurant that posts semi-permanent excuses on the front door, like we're understaffed and no one wants to work anymore, it shows the place can't run a business or doesn't treat employees well enough to stick around. That's not necessarily true. It might be the employees that are causing a problem too. Let's not kid ourselves. Number 11, when the workers see you come in and look annoyed that they have to work, yeah, I wouldn't care for that. Yeah, here's a good one. Poor hygiene from the workers, including being visibly sick. Yes, they don't want to be here.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. Dirty floors, filthy bathrooms, sticky tables. I'm leaving. No way. Number 8, lots of flies buzzing around the tables and kitchen. I'm out of here.
Yep.
So far in the top 10, I agree with every one of them. Number 7, no prices on the menu or no menus at all, just a QR code. Well, they did that during COVID, though, didn't they?
Yeah, there were, but it's kind of continued some places where they go, hey, we don't have to print new menus and we can save a couple bucks.
I see.
They did the QR code.
Yeah, which I'm against that a little bit because I don't want you to be able to go day by day potentially. I'm not saying places do, but like change the prices of like the burger. Like on Wednesdays it's $1 more, and all of a sudden on a Saturday it's $1 less or whatever.
And put the prices on there. I need to know what I'm paying.
Yes.
There you go. Number 6, a massive menu. It's all over the place. I couldn't care less about that either. That's fine.
Yeah.
Number 5, the cook walks out of the bathroom with an apron on. Why?
Oh, because that means he took his apron into the bath. Like normally you take off the apron because you don't want whatever air is splashing in. Yeah.
I see. Number 4, any bad smell. No, let's stay here and eat. It smells like crap, but let's eat here. Of course you're going to leave if it stinks. Number 3, the smell of a dirty grease trap. I don't know what that smells like. I don't know how you'd smell that as a guest, but if you go into the kitchen at the end of the night and they're changing out the grease that they fry stuff in, that is not a great smell. Number 2, no soap in the bathroom and no hint that it just ran out either. And the number 1 reason that people get up and leave restaurants, blaringly loud music and strange lighting. What's strange lighting? What is that?
Maybe like strobe lighting or something. Like if somebody's
I wouldn't care for that.
Yeah, or maybe if it's like neon, or they got like the fluorescent tubes everywhere or something.
Black lighting and everything is just.
I would not care for that. All right, we got to take a break. Got a special guest coming up. Did we find out? Is it Xaver?
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to ask Art because I looked at a clip where she was receiving an award, and the host presenting the award said Xaver, which Xaver, which I don't think that's how you would say it.
Probably
but
not.
No, so I'll double check before we get her punched on.
Chris is coming on. That's all.
Art just texted me and said she's going to be a couple minutes late.
Perfect. So by the time we're back, it'll be all set.
No, tell her sorry. We opened a spot for you at 9 o'clock and you weren't there. So listen here, ex guest.
Excalibur.
Yeah, we X'd you from the show.
We X'd you from the show. Now, this is going to be interesting. The new limited, promoting the new limited National Geographic series, Tsunami, Race Against Time. Series premieres this Sunday, November 24th on Nat Geo. Indian Ocean tsunami survivor Chris Xaver. Could be Xavier, but it's Xavier maybe. Former radio host. Oh, she's a radio person.
Yeah, we're going to get along swimmingly.
Look, man. We will be right back. Chris Xaver, I think is how you say her name. Maybe not. Xaver could be it.
We'll try. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, we'll be right back. I do know that. A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss, and it's your gain. For the first time ever, you will get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever. And receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. There are limited quantities, of course. You understand that. So the limit is going to be 10. And once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146, and use promo code TOM to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
What do you think of that deal, man? How we doing?
We're doing great. We've got Chris Xaver on the phone.
Chris Xaver. Chris, how you doing?
Hi. I'm
Chris,
okay. Thank you.
I need your help with something, though, because I always want to make sure that I pronounce people's names right. So it is Chris Xaver, right?
Yep, it's Xaver like Lifesaver.
Marvelous. But the other word I'm having a problem with, Chris, is Phuket.
It's pronounced Phuket, like Phuket. Yeah.
Thank God that's the case, Chris, because I was like, whoa, man. The new limited National Geographic series Tsunami Race Against Time. The series premieres on this Sunday, November 24th on Nat Geo. Be available next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. Indian Ocean Tsunami survivor Chris Xaver, former radio host. Where you worked in upstate New York? Is that where you worked?
I did, yes. So 93Q, I did some stuff there on Light 101 back in the day. Yes.
So did you like it, being in radio?
I did. I absolutely loved it. Today I've got a little bit of a throat cold. I don't normally sound like this, but I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I like your voice the way it is. You sound kind of like me. I always sound like I got a cold. It all works out in the end. From upstate New York, was in Thailand with her husband at the time of the disaster. She was hit by the wave in Phuket while they were eating breakfast in their home. Okay, I want to shut up about this. I don't want to read anymore. You're eating breakfast and a tsunami whipped. Oh, my God. I want to hear all about this, Chris.
So it was actually a tiny bit different, but you're right on. I didn't know this, but a tsunami comes in 2 to 3 waves. And the first wave, we were in our hotel room, which was like a bungalow a little bit below sea level, when all of a sudden it starts filling up with water. And we're thinking, oh, my gosh, it's a water main break from the sprinkler system or something. Mm-hmm. So we walked up to the breakfast area to see what was going on. It was an open air breakfast room. And there, when we're doing this, we see that was some sort of a rogue wave. There are dead fish up on the beach. Everything looks really dirty. And we're like, wow, what happened? But again, we don't know anything about tsunamis. So we just think, okay, our plans have changed. But that wasn't the case. That was the first wave. There were 2 more to come. The next one was the one that, worldwide, 227,000 people died in this tsunami. So, this is a big deal. And, where I was in Coron Beach in Phuket, 6,000 people died, including the king's grandson. The king of Thailand's grandson was there on vacation. And there's just a lot of survivor guilt that goes with, coming through something like that. And there's a lot of good that comes through, meaning you realize that your life needs to change and you need to do things for others. It's no longer about you. Not that I hope I was never just narcissistic, but I was climbing a career and, working on specific things. And then suddenly it's like, you know what, there's a lot more to this life and this ain't it. And, what difference can I make in the world? Because it feels wrong when you know that people lost their children, their mothers, their fathers, their businesses, their livelihoods. It's a very hard thing to walk away from.
I would imagine that. The wave crashed into the room, throwing Xaver into a wall, sweeping her husband, Scott Weatherby, out the door. Xaver suffered a number of injuries, including 50 stitches in your leg. My God.
Yeah, that was the least of it, right? Because then you come home, you've got some. But you know what? One of the things that happened with that, the Thai people, I was there in the hospital 3 weeks. And, they did an amazing job of taking care of us and making sure that we're okay. And when I came home, people said things like, I had a gangrene infection. And they're like, are you going to sue? Who would I sue?
Yeah, who are you going
to take care of me? I'm so upset. You dropped everything to take care of me. Just the mentality sometimes just bothers me. That this was a disaster, folks. They did the best they could with 6,000. People just flooding the hospital, coming in needing treatment. I was so thankful, so grateful beyond words. There's just, I think sometimes we need to do a paradigm shift and really think about what's important. And suing is not important.
Now, again, who would you sue anyway?
Yeah. People are like, oh, the doctor didn't get everything out. Oh, I'm sorry, because there were 150 more people behind me that needed surgery. Come on. Yeah.
It is amazing. Yeah, we talked about Xaver suffered a number of injuries, including needing 50 stitches in her leg. She nearly drowned as well. He made it out alive before reuniting with her injured husband. So he's okay, and you're okay now?
Yeah, he's okay. He actually, we thought he was much worse, and then we found out that, it was some major things happening with whiplash in that particular space. But, at that point, we had gone there because my son was a teenager and he was a Muay Thai boxer and he was having his first professional bout in Thailand. We never got to see it. It took a full week before anybody could even get message to him that I was alive. And what was interesting is, then all of a sudden you kind of realize that your teenager loves you when, you reconnect and he's got tears in his eyes and you're like, whoa, you really do love your mom. This is great. Thailand is one of the most beautiful countries. It's just amazing. And I've been back multiple times since.
Oh, okay.
My son fell in love with it and he ended up marrying a Thai woman and he became a pro boxer. So, we have a reason to go back. And I have to say, I'm so thankful for that because had he not had that connection, I might not have gone back. There's just that trauma with that space. But I'm glad to have gone back and, meet and get to know these amazing people who just took such great care of me, afterwards during the tsunami.
That makes sense. Now, Chris, I do have to ask you, is that your husband or your son that's talking in the background?
That is my 1-year-old granddaughter. She's saying Dada in the corner here. I'm trying my darndest to move around.
No, it's fine. We love babies. We absolutely love babies. But it's so people thought, I assume that people close to you thought you didn't make it through. I would imagine, because they couldn't get a hold of you.
100%. And here's the interesting thing too. I was in the New York Times. We were the first, couple in the United States written about, and that's because I was a journalist, so I knew that people needed to know and put a face and a voice to this story. But the system had us missing for 3 straight weeks. Ooh. And I'm trying to let folks know, we're alive because people are panicking. At that point I was a college professor. I had a class of students. They're nervous. What's going on? Professor X is gone. But I wasn't, at that point. I absolutely wasn't. And I just couldn't get that message out to anybody. So that was, they're just small things that happen during that you don't think about. But the biggest thing that I took away from this, Tom, was we really need to do a better job here in the United States with our disaster recovery.
Oh, okay.
When I got to the hospital, the man who was triaging us was wearing red swim trunks with white fish on them. He had a lab coat on, and he had a sticky note written in Sharpie that said, Hendrik, the Swedish doctor. And, I didn't question for a moment, is this guy qualified to triage us? I was so thankful that someone was there. And, I'm thanking him for jumping out of his vacation and assisting. Mm-hmm. And here in the United States, we'll have a problem with flooding in the Carolinas, and we can't let a doctor from Oklahoma go over and insist, God, no, because they're not, certified there. Are you kidding me?
I know.
We need to do a better job with this. Because, if you're a medical professional in one state, you should be able to do disaster relief anywhere in the United States.
No, you're 100% right. I know you got to go, Chris, but I got to point something out because I'm looking at your picture right now. My wife, like you, is a very attractive woman, but my wife, like you, can get a look on her face like, do not bother me today or there'll be trouble.
I might be able to do that too.
Yeah, just maybe, Chris. I could never tell by looking at your picture. It's like, don't mess with me today, Tom. That's all I'm saying. Boy, your toughness impresses me. It really does impress me. I'm so glad you made it through, and everybody, it seems like everybody's happy. But how many people were lost again? 250,000?
227,000 people were across the 14 different areas that it hit. But it is truly the largest disaster in recorded history. And I'm thankful. I don't want to ever say this because obviously I'm so broken for the people who lost what they lost, right? Whether it was loved ones or livelihood or whatever, home. But I'm thankful that I got knocked upside the head to draw some sense into me, to reprioritize my life. And I wish everybody had that opportunity to say, you know what? I'm meant for better things. I'm meant to give more. I'm meant to help. And now here's my opportunity to do it.
Did you look toward a greater good? Look, I don't have any problem. I'm not a very religious guy. I grew up Roman Catholic, but I do believe there's a greater good, a God, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why people are so afraid of thinking there is a greater good, but it seems like you're pretty impressed, and your influence is that there is a greater good out there watching over your family.
At that time, I really questioned because I was like, oh, God, how could they do this? But it took about 2 years to fully embrace that, things happen for a reason. There is a greater power, and this is my path. This is what I'm supposed to do. And, my path is to help others. And I've taken that on as a pretty severe mission just because I got that second chance. And I feel like I can't waste it. I would be doing a disservice to those who lost their lives if I didn't use this opportunity to be better.
Well, I feel very, very lucky you could come on the show today, Chris. I'd love to have you on again. You're a terrific guest, and I'm going to keep your picture. So whenever Catherine's mad at me, I'll just look at your picture and go, well, at least Chris isn't mad at me too. So that's good. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Chris Xaver, ladies and gentlemen. What a story that is. Did you guys see her picture?
Oh, yeah.
I just got to show you. She's got this look on her face like, you mess with me, I will bust your ass. I love women like that, to get that look. Can you imagine? You were missing for 3 weeks. People literally thought, I assumed you were dead, right?
Yeah, and to go on essentially going on vacation, son's going over there to kickbox, you're kicking your feet up on the beach, and then one of the worst natural disasters in the history of the world happens. Like, that's just very unfortunate. And like she was saying, it's a shame that 227,000 people died.
And you're not one of them. That's how do you sit down at a table and go, 227,000 people died and I wasn't one of them? Why is that? What happened? Why am I so lucky?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that it makes it a lot harder to complain about things that happen in your day-to-day life when you come back here. Like, oh, the internet's out? Like, maybe that's not the end of the world.
I got to work with AJ and Tevin. I guess it's not that bad.
No.
I changed my attitude. No question about it. I've never been in a disaster like that. I've been in a tornado before, but it wasn't a very severe one. You guys ever been in something that could be considered close to a disaster?
No. There was like a bad tornado, I remember, when I was a little kid, but it wasn't anything like where like my life was in jeopardy or anything.
Yeah.
That's good.
Actually,
wait a minute. Here we go.
Because I was like 8 years old, and my dad, we went on a chartered like fishing trip out in like, I think it was Lake Superior or something like that. And when I tell you the waves were bigger than I for sure thought I was going to die. The waves were huge, like over the boat. Like the guy that took us out on like the fishing expedition was like a typical sailor, crusty old man. And he was like, this is the worst storm that I've ever seen. Like, he got back to land and it was one of those like knees hit ground, kiss beach. Thank you, Lord.
I understand that. No question about it. We shall take a break. Speaking of natural disasters, Kristyn Burtt is up next.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bart's Lawn and Landscape and Bart's Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. Best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I did a couple people asked me to check in with you on this situation. Now, when Trump does become president in another 2 months, something like that, since you're an illegal alien, will you be kicked out of the country?
I hope so.
I hope so. That's real nice. Really nice.
Yeah. These are the jokes. No. I was born in Massachusetts, so.
Yeah, you were, yes.
Yeah.
No question about it. But yeah, there's a big battle going on in California right now over they're going to do it, they're going to not do it. They say even if you don't want it, you're going to have some hubbub in your state coming up.
Oh, I'm sure we are. And in California, because we are a border state, it's so interesting. I feel like the immigration issue in California is not a hot topic. And I think because we have so many people who come across the border, they work in our agricultural community, they work in many of the jobs that other people will not take, whether it is landscaping and housekeeping, nannies, and radio, exactly. No, but I honestly, for me, immigration, I understand we need to create a better system and a better pathway, and we do need to secure our borders. But was it a hot topic for me in the election? No. I just feel like a lot of the people who are here, even illegally, are a big part of our community, and we've just got to figure out a way to, if they want to be here and work here, we just have to figure out a better path for everyone.
Well, they could go back and then gain re-entry.
It's not that simple, though. And we know that
Why
because
not?
if I want to go and live in another country, it's not that simple. So it's, obviously, if you just do mass deportation, I don't think it's a simple issue because who are going to fulfill a lot of roles here in this country? Like, what are you going to do with agriculture? That's my big question.
No, I understand that. I don't think any of our politicians do a good job with that stuff.
No, nobody does.
They just don't do a good job of that kind of thing. And all these disasters come along because it is a disaster. There's $500 million missing from that setup. $500 million just went missing and nobody knows where it is.
Well, and we had a bipartisan bill. I believe it was in the Senate and it did not pass. And I really feel like we need to come together, take your idea here, and what does it look like in the middle, and create. Yeah, how about that? And create a better pathway for people who do want to come here and live here. I have a friend who is a DACA recipient, and they're very scared about being here. They were brought to this country at 3. They only know life in the U.S.
Right.
They pay taxes. They went to college. They are contributing to this country in ways that are incredible, creating art, teaching. And it's just one of those situations that I worry for them tremendously, because what are they going to do?
So you think they'll get kicked out of the country?
DACA is on the table for being deported, correct?
Really?
Yes, it's not a program that Donald Trump has been excited about, and it was an issue in his last administration, and it's also an issue this time around. So, do I think that they're going to be the first on the list? Probably not, but they're on the list. That's it. So,
let's get all the murderers out first. That's what I'd like to do.
that's fine. You're not going to. I don't think anyone would argue with that.
Yep.
But the people who are contributing and paying taxes, what do we do? I guess that's my question.
Do you want me to take over DACA? Is that what you want?
If you can keep my friend here in the country, I would love that.
They'd be the first to go just to piss you off.
No,
no, Kristyn Burtt.
No Kristyn Burtt, buddy.
Don't harm my friend. No, but when the election came down, I was like, oh, I bet they're very stressed today. So that makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand both sides of the issue. You can't allow these scumbags at this Lincoln Riley situation is. They put the guy on an airplane and fly him in so he can murder someone. Jesus, I mean, both sides are wrong in this deal as far as I'm concerned. But both sides, I think, are wrong in every issue because there's no middle ground anymore. It's either way left or way right.
Well, it's either like we're going to go extreme and deport everybody, or it's hey, we're going to let everyone. You can't. Where's that middle ground for again? Because we know that we have. Listen, this was a country founded on immigration. So there are many incredible people who have contributed to our community because they moved here.
Minnesota's wanted to kick me out forever, but they haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm sure they'll get me sooner or later. Because I don't exactly fit in. I was born there. I grew up there. I've lived there pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I've lived in other places too, in business. I do not fit in very well in Minnesota. I just don't.
Do you fit in Florida?
I don't know anybody, so yes.
You should move to the Villages and you'll have so many friends.
The Villages. We drove by there, as a matter of fact, on the way down, and there were all these guys going over the bridges in their golf carts. And they all had a cocktail in their hand.
They party big time. They drunk.
Oh, yeah.
They allegedly drunk drive in their golf carts a lot. And
that's what I hear, yeah.
Bill performed at the Villages last year with his show, the Desi show. And
oh, really?
Yeah, he did. They have a beautiful theater there. And there's more than one theater there, but in one of the town squares in the Villages, it looks like Walt Disney walked in and built the town square. It's very, and then everyone goes out every night. And there's like what do you call it? Like a hat shell or like a band, Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they go out there and they drink and they dance. And it doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday or a Saturday, it's all the same night.
Is it true that they throw their keys into a bowl and whoever keys you get? Is that true?
It's loofahs.
Loofahs?
So there's color-coded loofahs. Somebody please look this up on the internet,
sure.
AJ maybe. Just say the Villages like color-coded loofahs. And each of them means something different. So like one color might mean like you're a novice. One color might mean that you you like to watch, you're voyeurs. Other people are like, we're looking for a single to join with us. Or others are like, another color will be like, we're looking for another couple. AJ, did you find it?
Yeah, I have it. The loofah code when visiting the Villages, Florida's friendliest.
You got that right.
Something like that. White. If you have a white loofah, that means you are a novice or a beginner. Purple is for voyeurs and people who like to watch. Pink is soft swap, people who like to do it with others in the room. Jesus Christ. Hold on to your hats. We've got 4 more colors still to go.
Oh, my God.
Blue is the lowest level of full swap, those who can play well with others. Yellow is mid-level swap for those who want to have fun but are still nervous. Black is a full swap. Those who say, what the hell, let it all go down. And teal is bisexual for those who want to increase their dating chances. So thank you for taking that journey down the 7 colors of loofahs.
We got to find something else for these old people to be doing in these retirement homes.
And this is not going to surprise you, Tevin, but they have a very high rate of STIs in the community.
Right.
Because you don't have pregnancy stress.
Right.
So there's not a lot of protection being used. And you will see these loofahs. In fact, I have photos. And people tie the loofahs to their car and to their golf carts. And you will see them legitimately. You go to CVS and you're like, there's a loofah. Bill did not believe me. So when we were down there, I was telling about the loofahs. And he's like, that sounds really weird. That doesn't exist. And sure enough, we were going to Starbucks. And there were several loofahs on different vehicles.
Tom, I've got an investment opportunity for you. I'm gonna open a loofah store down.
Get a loofah store down in or that's sort of, it's not really in Orlando, but it's close to Orlando, right?
Yeah, it's in Central Florida.
Yeah, Central Florida.
No, I have a picture here of somebody has just 2 different loofahs tied to their roof rack of their car.
Oh.
In which, based on, let me consult the chart here, that means they're both novices but also bisexual.
Oh, spicy.
Spicy.
Very spicy.
Spicy.
See, I've never had any interest in that. You need to know what I do with my schwanz. It's like, what? I don't care. Leave me alone.
But I guess, for people who maybe got married very young and now they're still married to the same person and they want to make things a little bit spicy in their retirement age, there you go.
A lot of people going home after listening to this show are checking what color the loofah is in their shower.
Honest to God, I must be missing out on how the world really works. I just sit around the house and go, "Yes, dear." That's my deal.
I'm just saying, just watch yourself if you go to the villages. That's
I'm not going to the villages now. I was thinking about it, but now I'm not. Forget it.
Every night's a party in the villages.
I find that really creepy. I'm sorry, but I do.
It's an interesting place, honestly, and it's beautifully laid out. It has everything that a community needs. But I wonder what it's like to live there if you're not a part of the party community, because the social aspect really is big. And I'm sure not everyone is swinging there, let's be honest. But I think there's a party atmosphere of drinking and socializing and dancing. It's like club days. You take your 20s and throw it now in your 60s and 70s and 80s.
You go to Bed Bath and Beyond. You got to be okay, which color can I actually get here?
Exactly.
You are getting washcloths, everyone.
Yeah.
Forget the loofahs.
Yes. That's the other thing. There's stuff everywhere, probably. Bodily fluids. I don't need it.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to another subject.
Let's move on to happy topics. This is for you, Tom. You're going to be very happy to know that Sylvester Stallone is in talks for season 3 and 4 of Tulsa King. So
good
the show hasn't been renewed yet. It likely will be, but they're already locking in Sylvester Stallone's contract for 2 more seasons.
It's a good show. There's no question about that. There's a lot of good television right now. No doubt about it.
Yeah, there is. And I know this is a joke that I'm going to keep on going to, but Tevin, Suits LA premieres February 23rd.
I just saw whoever the actor is that plays Harvey in the original one. I saw that he's going to be now.
Yeah, Gabrielle Mocht is coming back. Yeah.
So, me, big Suits guy.
The biggest Suits guy.
Love Suits. So I will watch it. I do like the show, but yeah, I don't know. Thanks Brittany for
that was the greatest ongoing joke. And when I saw that, I'm like, I've had this on my notes for days too. And I'm like, it just wasn't an opportunity, but yay, Tevin.
Tevin.
There is a new show, and Tom, you're probably going to hate it because it stars Ted Danson. I saw a screener copy. I know. But I'm telling you, this is he's had an incredible career. And I was like, I cannot believe he has another good show. It's called A Man in the Inside, and it is out today on Netflix. He plays a retiree who becomes a private detective, and he goes on the inside at a retirement community to solve a crime.
So is it a drama?
It is a comedy. It is delightful and funny. He's getting some of the best reviews of his career. Man on the Inside, Netflix. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. But I was thinking Ted Danson between Cheers, The Good Place. I think he did Becker. Now he has A Man on the Inside. He's someone who has had a very consistent television career. It's so rare.
Yeah, and Sally Struthers is in it, who we just had on yesterday.
Love
Did you talk to her about it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great. So are
Sally,
you gonna watch it?
I've known Sally for years and years and years. She's such a sweetheart. What a good person.
Sally was one of my favorite characters on Gilmore Girls. So anyone who's a Gilmore Girls fan will remember her. And Amy Sherman Palladino always creates a really colorful palette of characters, and she fit right in there.
Archie Bunker. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's where I first saw. She was a teenager, I think, when she started on that show.
She was young.
Very, very young. No question about it. But, I tell you, Scott, with Landman and Tulsa King, and you just go down a list of all these magnificent shows, TV, I'm telling you, it's probably better than it's ever been. And look, I'll watch Ted Danson. I just never, maybe one of these days I'll let it go. But that whole thing with he and Whoopi Goldberg was so phony, and he's wearing blackface, and it's like, geez, come on, really?
Well, it was so tasteless, and now he would have been.
Ugh.
I mean, I remember him being like, I think he was on the cover of the New York Post the next day after it happened. However, I will say that now it would have crushed his career.
No question.
Crushed it. Absolutely. But he is someone who's just breezed by.
I know.
No big deal. And I think at the time too, he's like, well, because it was a roast of Whoopi Goldberg at the Friars Club when it happened.
Yeah.
So, I think the excuses were it was in the name of comedy. Oh, he's dating Whoopi Goldberg. That's a couple that probably a lot of people forget. Like Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg seem so random now in 2024. But they were like, well, he was dating, so it was a joke. So, of course, Whoopi Goldberg co-signed on something like this. But I can't imagine her on The View talking about it, going, yeah, it was fine, no big deal.
Yeah, it was just very, very odd. I don't know. I always liked him in Cheers. I thought he was really, really good on that show. But I've seen him. I don't know. He's just, I guess, not my kind of guy. Maybe that's.
Have you ever interviewed him?
Long time ago. Yeah, like 35 years ago or something like that. He was a good interview. Look, I think he's a good actor. I think all the rest of it. But I just, I guess it was just that whole Whoopi Goldberg thing. The whole thing was so fake anyway. It was all put together by some Hollywood agents or something. I mean, neither one of them looked like they were interested in that relationship at all. They were just doing it for some,
wait, Tom's into conspiracy theories. I love this. Into like the PR ploys.
God, Hollywood's big on that. They
were the original Travis and Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Exactly right.
Oh, so we get Tom down like a TikTok rabbit hole of like fake romances, or as we call them, showmances.
Yes. Showmances. All right. So what else? Anything else good going on?
I think the other big news is that Super Bowl, they have changed. I think this is really interesting. Fox decided to change their after post Super Bowl show. Let's put it that way. So originally it was supposed to be their Rescue High Surf show, and they were going to get a big boost. They've decided, nope, that's not going to be it. It's going to be The Floor, which is Rob Lowe's game show. They will do the season 3 premiere. And that's kind of a big deal, but it shows that on Fox, they are doing very well with their unscripted shows.
Right.
And Rob Lowe obviously is going to get a ton of money to be able to have his show post Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm sure that the creators of High Surf are bummed because that was really a big deal to be put in that time slot.
I could see that. Have you ever had to deal with Rob Lowe?
I haven't. And
No?
I enjoy his podcast. Have you ever listened to his podcast?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good. Rob Lowe probably has some of the best Hollywood stories. Like if you're looking to understand what it was like in the 80s and 90s, like at the height of his fame. First of all, he knows everyone. He's been to everybody's house. He hangs out with the most random people. He was like, well, I was at Frank Sinatra's house one night. Equally, while he was partying with, all of the Brat Pack at the same time. So I'm like, he lived such a colorful life. He has a really great memory and he can remember the most random details. So his autobiography is fabulous. And when he gets a podcast guest, someone he has a long history with, it's amazing.
He's cute too.
He's aging very well.
You know what I'm saying? What are the police here? Who is that?
No, it's Gal fan. Close.
What the hell? He looks like twice his normal size because he's wearing a coat.
Yeah, he's got lifts in his shoes today.
He's got
the lifts.
You guys dealing with snow?
We got snow, yeah.
Yeah.
We got snow.
They did get some. All right, so we'll keep an eye on all it. I'm telling you, like I said, I think the shows are the best they've ever been.
Well, let's
No
see if you
question
can watch A Man on the Inside. Just watch an episode. See what you think.
So, Man on the Inside is who again?
Netflix.
And who's
It's
on
out
it?
today.
Ted Danson and Sally Struthers.
Sally Struthers.
See, I do love Sally, and I think Ted is a good. I just don't
I
think
think
he's
you'll
my
like
kinda
it.
guy.
I think you'll like it.
All right, I'll give
He's
it a
acting.
whirl.
Yep.
All right, my dear, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Now, next week, are you going to be on next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yes. So that's the schedule. I asked a couple weeks ago, and everyone's like, I don't know.
Why'd you do that to her, you guys? You guys are horrible.
That's on me. I forgot to
we
circle
ironed
back
it out.
after we
No, my
ironed
favorite. AJ, I'm going to totally put you on blast.
That's fine. Put me on blast.
I was like, are we taking Veterans Day off? Are we on or off? Just so I know. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then that morning, he's like, we're on.
We're on. Hop in here. Let's go.
Are you on?
Yeah,
And he's
that's-
like, we're on.
Definitely not a good idea.
Okay,
no
so we're
question.
here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then obviously off Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll be
And
here.
we're also not going to be on the week of Christmas. I hope you know that. That's whole
And
week
after-
is gone.
Yeah, between Christmas and New Year's.
Yes.
Okay, I don't even know what the dates are for that, so I will
I
look.
think it's a Wednesday to a Wednesday or something like that. It's really weird this year.
Okay, so we're doing like
Christmas is
Wednesday
on-
to Wednesday off.
I think so, yeah. Is that what it is, Tevin?
I believe so, yeah. Christmas is on the 25th, Kristen.
Wait, no kidding.
Oh, gee, really? Christmas on the 25th? Who knew?
You don't say.
It's a Wednesday to Wednesday.
Wednesday to Wednesday. So then we're back. Oh, because then we've got obviously New Year's Day. Gotcha. But
did
are we
see-
on Christmas Eve?
Is that a Tuesday?
That would be
isn't it?
Tuesday, yeah.
I would guess so. You want to be on Christmas? I don't
I'll
have. I
be
don't
on
mind being on
Christmas
Christmas
Eve.
Eve. Yeah, Christmas Eve.
I don't
is fine.
mind.
It's Monday, Tuesday. So how tough is that?
Monday,
That's a
Tuesday.
two work day week. I mean, if you can't handle that, what the hell?
I know. Seriously.
You know what I'm saying?
Today's
I'll be here.
youth.
What?
Today's youth doesn't
Right.
want to work.
Today's youth. That's exactly right.
Sugar hits all the way.
All right. Well, I just got a call from the Villages. I got to go up there and with my purple banana or whatever the hell. it
AJ,
is.
send him that color coded loofah chart.
Yeah, Tom, I'll text you that.
I got to get the loofah chart going.
You might be more of a washcloth guy.
I might do that with Catherine just to piss her off. Hey, honey, look at this. I got
Start
the
hanging
right
loofahs everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
The black
Hanging
loofah. Good luck.
All right, we'll talk to you
Let's go
tomorrow.
black, you don't go
See y'all
back.
tomorrow.
Thank you, my dear. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com and learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. The hell are you laughing about? This is bad news of some kind.
Oh,
Tevin
no.
had a
AJ's the only one that heard my joke.
What was it?
Kristen said something about getting a black loofah, and I was like, oh, once you go black, you don't go back. And
You're laughing that hard at that reference?
it amused me.
Oh,
And
my
AJ.
God. You're a disaster.
I just
That's all
didn't
I have to
expect
say.
that. That's all.
All I have to say is you're both a major disaster.
Major disasters.
There's no question.
No question.
So now tomorrow we have one show before the weekend, and then next week, of course, we got the 3-day week. So what the hell?
Yeah, we're gonna shoulder to the wheel, power through, and then eat some turkey.
Yeah, we are.
Turkey. I like turkey. It's got to be cooked right though, because if turkey's cooked wrong, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's if you get it dried out, it's
Yep, absolutely.
I'm nervous because my mom is out of town for Thanksgiving.
Uh-oh.
And so now at my house, I will be cooking my first turkey ever. And so
big shoes to fill.
This is not gonna, hopefully this doesn't go terribly.
Get a hungry man. They got turkey, don't they?
Yeah, but I'm more sophisticated than that.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Highbrow.
Don't do the Amazon full meal that can be delivered. Don't do that.
No.
Oh no, we're scratch cooking.
You got it. I believe it.
All right, now I'll close with the great news. Many, many years ago, Kath and I were living in Golden Valley at the time, and we ordered a turkey from Byerly's. It was before it was Lunds and Byerly's. It was just Byerly's. And it was getting pretty late in the day, and we're like, oh, my God, I haven't heard from him yet to come and pick up the turkey. And all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door, and with the turkey delivered to our house, I didn't even have to go get it, is Don Byerly, the owner of the entire franchise. The day before Thanksgiving is working his ass off to make sure everybody was covered. And I will never forget that. Don Byerly, did a hell of a job, man. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and it's things like that are the reason why he has such a successful chain of stores, because when the owner takes that extra step, employees will follow suit.
No question. All right, I have to go grab my loofah, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and the family show's up in about 10 minutes.